Hi everyone, welcome to Tarot Map. I'm Kasia, and today we are going to be talking about color, and I'm going to do a review of the Color Vision Oracle. I put the right nails on, they may be not like the best of bestest quality, they're quite thick, but they're colorful, so they go well with the theme. First of all, I wanted to just briefly mention that color is ever present in our lives. Some people tend to, be gravitating towards all the aspect of the color. Some other people, focus more on one or two or three particular colors. Like my husband loves gray and black and, white. And I know a lot of people that have, black wardrobes, etc. And I'm, on the other hand, just shining as a contrast to my husband, because I love all the fucking colors of the rainbow. And, I thrive when I have color around me, and just color makes me happy and definitely has an impact on my psychological and emotional body. So color is actually like light. Light is transmitted in waves, and the length of the waves can vary. And Newton specifically discovered that colors are not inherent to any objects that we may see. I found it fascinating. So, we look at this card, and even though we see color on this card, or if we think the tree is green, that green color is not actually fully inherent to that object that we keep seeing. So this is to say, while the red apple on your desk or the brown coffee on your cup may seem intrinsically tied to the colors you see when you look at them, the color isn't in their molecular makeup. Instead, the objects are absorbing some wavelengths of light and reflecting others. So the apple will reflect all light wavelengths that correspond to red and absorb all the rest, so we only see the red. This is why black and white are considered opposite ends of the color spectrum. White objects reflect all wavelengths, so we can kind of say that they don't take on any color, while black objects absorb all of the wavelengths. So we kind of, in layman's language, we say that the black includes all colors, right? So light from the environment is filtered through your eyes, and that was so fascinating, until it meets the retina, a thin layer of eye tissue covered by millions of cells. These cells, named rods and cones, they have two different shapes, are all light sensitive. One of the many jobs includes transducing the light you see into electrical signals that the brain can understand and interpret. While rods and cones are both vital to visual processes, each one specializes in different type of light. That's so cool. So rods, apparently we have around 250 million rods in our eyes. They are dispersed mostly around the ends and edges of the retina. And rods convert and send information to the brain that's received from black and white messages wavelengths. Cones, on the other hand, handle more complicated information, that which is received from colors. And approximately 2/3 of ice cones are designated to process longer wavelengths of light, reds, oranges, and yellows, which explains why the human eye can perceive more variations of these warm colors than in cooler ones. I could just go on, right? But if you think of psychological aspect of color, wearing black to funeral in the West, etc., we have so many different rituals and social interactions connected to color, which color is appropriate, which one you can wear, which one you can't wear, etc. We communicate through color. When we see a rainbow, like, it makes us happy. There is this whole language of color. But what's interesting for me is that I was thinking of color also in relation to psychological and spiritual development, on insights, because often we are connecting color to the chakras as well, and we connecting the color to different parts of the body through this chakra association. So we can also go kind of medicinally and work with color this way. There is just incredible curiosity in me around this color related subjects. So Alison also produces these like color meditations that you can get at her shop, moonnectarapothecary.com. And she says here, transport yourself into the color square. And this art is a meditation, okay? So I've got, if you watched my latest video, if not, please do. I share some of this information as well. I've got these two pieces of art and color meditations that I'm working with right now. And also Alison produces color sprays. They with essential oils. They are, with different plant matters as well. And this bottle, for example, contains polarized or solarized orange color essence, ginger, water, and distilled grain alcohol, orange calcite essence, various essential oils, somatic structured water of 470 hertz. So each color has different wavelength, different vibration. And I've got also lavender that Alison has sent me, and I have this orange. And she also has sent me, that was in this glass bottle, but I had to move it for the plane, this shungite essence that's, all the color spectrum, but it comes with distilled grain alcohol, water, shungite essence, and essential oils. And it's like protective. It smells really nice. I really love it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the camera right now, and I want you to take a look at all of the cards, and I'm going to tell you how I use them at this moment. Okay, so when you purchase the deck, it comes with, I think the booklet comes with the deck when you purchase it. So this is the booklet. It looks a little bit like a zine. It's, of course, with the color inside because it's a color deck. And I haven't read it obviously from A to Z, but I keep pulling cards and I keep learning because there's so much information in here. Basically, Alison has split the deck into parts of solids, which are the solid colors, and also of the pile of correspondences when she adds different symbols, astrology symbols, elements, other colors, etc. You've got a couple of different spreads, and then there's a lot of information for each of the cards. We're going to pull one card at the end, and I'm going to show you, or two cards actually, one of the solids and one of the correspondences. And then if you go to the solid colors, you learn about the color itself, and then you have all these various ways that you can also incorporate into your interpretation. Maybe I go on to some clean one. So, you have like home and connection, earthly connections, earth start. So what chakra it like represents or is associated with, yin and yang, and this is like some foods and stones, and the hertz, the frequency, and then brown personality, brown negative personality, and all these keywords that you can also use in your interpretation. If you just want quick keywords for usage, then you can. And in the booklet, Alison says that you can use this deck You can use this deck as a companion to traditional tarot, and it can assist in giving more energetics and insights into the court cards or human energies that present themselves in a spread. Just like with tarot, if you are unclear, pull another multi-indicator for guidance. If you do not relate to the color chosen, look to its complementary opposite. And you have these complementary colors and different, images in the book as well. So I think there's just a lot of information here, and if you're not familiar with all this color theory, you've got to, you've got something to hang on to and learn. So the deck looks amazing. It has all this beautiful, shiny and opalescent foil added. It comes in a hard box. I'm going to just put it on the side here, and I keep it separated into piles, and I'm going to show you first the solid colors, so how cool is the back, just as just indication of how big the cards are. I think they're very similar to a regular size tarot. They tiny little bit bigger. So this is regular 7 by 12 centimeters, regular size tarot, and as you can see, it sticks out just tiny little bit. So they fine to handle. They have they have a little bit of a bend, but I'm a bit afraid to bend them fully, because they also don't have any protective, or maybe they do have some protective layer, but not much, so they feel a little bit papery. Nevertheless, it just feels good. They have texture on the back, and I love it. I just love everything about this deck. So, but for anybody who is, look at these colors, for anybody who is very picky, I think it is going to, they're going to, with usage, you will see the wear and tear pretty easily, because it's more on this papery side. Ooh, disco. So yeah, so I'm going to go through the colors themselves just so you can see. This may be a little bit more boring to the other pile, but I want you to see what colors she chose. So there is blue, green, and as you can see, the colors are, they're not just plain red, etc., but they have all these little kind of bobs of light, and I think that plays out in interpretation often as well. So let's just go through it. So there is blue, green, there's crimson, there is lemon, violet, indigo, gold, terracotta, purple, brown, dark blue, magenta. There's something called crystalline as well, so kind of all of the colors in some way. Peach, fuchsia, scarlet, orange, pink, burgundy, evergreen, lime, blue, black, red, moss green, yellow, turquoise, cobalt blue, beige, mustard, green, plum, lavender, silver, and spring green. I love that she added silver and gold and this crystalline. That's pretty cool. So usually what I do, I would pull one card from the solid color as more an indication on, auric field and what color, let's say, would be important for me to pay attention to, either reduce or increase depending on my day. So let's just pull one. Okay, so we have terracotta. I'm just going to put it there. And now the other pile of correspondences, there's a mix of different colors, and you get, in an oracle deck, a keyword, and you get all these different little symbols that she of course mentions in the guidebook, which is wonderful because otherwise it would be difficult to use. But what's fascinating about it, that she adds, the element, as you can see, there is fire, there is air, etc. She adds astrology, so there's planets, asteroids. This is, for example, retrograde motion, some other, astrological Chiron, etc. There is Aries, different parts to astrological language. She adds a color that can be used to either counteract, or if you don't resonate with this, you can maybe connect with this color. And those little symbols, they all different on different cards. Sometimes they connected to body parts, sometimes to different ideas, and you know, bring to mind just different interpretation and different levels of interpretation. This deck is quite kind of like an intense deck, to be honest. It can be used, you know, I think Alison comes from the point that like you don't come for a tarot reading to, you know, when you're like totally happy, right? So there's a lot of kind of shadow work aspects, a lot of psychological work, a lot of keywords that, you know, are not those like super happy happy-go-lucky keywords, which of course for me this is like perfect. I love that. So I'm going to go through those and then we're going to pick one. So there's a keyword is vulnerable, and then we have justice, we have forgiveness. So, you know, when you look at the little symbols, she also has Neptune here, so that has to do with forgiveness, right? There is air element, which is interesting, not water with Neptune. There's pink as this complementary color. There's something like where uterus sits, what is it, like the basin of the hips, and then there's like a spider web. So each of these symbols is mentioned in the booklet, and we're going to go through one of these cards at the end. But like how beautiful is just this deck is so amazing. I love looking at it and touching it and feeling this this texture of the backs. So this was catharsis, isolation, quest, abundance, depletion, conduit, and then we have seer, success, love, liberation. And I love how the colors, even when I'm showing them, how they, you know, show up emotionally in the area, you know, in the sphere of like what you're seeing. Addiction, mastery, anger, envy, create, dominance, protection. It just looks so Uranian. I pulled this card on Tuesday when I was running my last of the planetary breakthrough workshops on Uranus, and it just looked so Uranian. Transformation. Oh, this is actually Uranus. What was the other one? Was Mars. Void of course is VC, so this is when the moon makes no aspects to any planets. Then you have the zodiac signs as well, so purification, empathy. These are some asteroids. Some of them I don't know the you know, the little symbols for, but I know the asteroids. Just have to read what it is, which one it depicts. Is it Nessus? Maybe, I don't know. Deception, constraint, scarcity. This is Ceres, Genesis, Chiron, with grief, gratitude with Jupiter. There's rebellion, power, chaos with Aries, growth with Taurus. Oh, I just love how that looks. Perspective with Sagittarius. Vesta is shame. Alliance looks very kind of alien. Restore, healing, memory, Bardo with Pluto, expression, just like supernova, Taurus, fear with Saturn, star-crossed, trauma, and awakening. So as you can see, they quite like not your light-headed keywords, and I love that about this deck. So then I would pull one card from this pile. So here we have deception. Oh, this is the one which probably it wants me to check it out. So we have deception, we have air element, and the color, complementary color is either like dark blue or something cobalt blue maybe. Not sure what that is because I'm blind now, but something on the brain and this one seems like a little plant. So let's see, I let you know how. So now I usually would go and just, you know, sometimes depending on how well I tune into the colors, I could, you know, I can, like I sit down and I just like tune in a little bit and focus on the colors, see what's awakening me. Here it seems like, you know, I can see this cross, there's like black and red. It feels something ancestral. It feels something like it's not easy to go through it. There's a bit of chaos going on. It's not clear, right? There's like a road here, but there's there and there and there. And this terracotta seems much more calming and kind of like, you know, taking the time, and even if it's still quite active and it feels quite warm and encouraging, but it feels so much earthier. So let's see. So this one you would go to deception, and then first she gives you a summary. So what we see here, she says, smoke and mirrors perfectly illustrate the energy of deception. Smoke and mirrors, okay. Smoke blurs visibility and disorients, while mirrors can be warped, distorted, and inaccurate. Confusion, destabilization, and frustration are all present in the realm of deception. Sorry. We can be deceived by outside sources such as the government, the media, our families, our lovers, or our friends. We can even deceive ourselves through denial and masking, depriving ourselves of deep truths. Deception is rarely, if ever, positive or constructive. In a singular exception, it may be the last resort for people in need of protection in certain situations, but most often deception is a form of toxic manipulation. Conversely, the search for truth is a noble altruistic quest. This card is an alert that deception is near. Take care to examine all information, including your own belief systems, and attune your intuition to seek out the truth. So keywords with lies, manipulation, confusion, cheating, and trickery. Symbolic connections. The Venus flytrap is one of the rare carnivorous plants. Okay, so this is this little plant here, found in nature. This is a seemingly paradoxical designation, as we tend to view plants as passive and non-violent, yet with Venus flytrap is quite the opposite. It lures its prey through color and nectar, deceiving the insect into believing it's just another flower, but then it clumps its jaw-like hinged lobes around the confused creature, seeing its fate as a meal. Sealing its fate as a meal. Looking at the shape of the plant with its spiky protrusions, suggestive of predatory teeth, it's not surprising that it's a symbol of sinister deception. Planetary connections is Nessus. Oh, so I was right. Nessus is an asteroid most related to abuse, forms of espionage, psychic attack, and betrayal of trust. Embodied connections. So here we have this brain kind of symbol, is prefrontal cortex, when electrically stimulated, is reported to increase our ability to deceive. This region of the brain, along with the neocortex, the part of the brain that evolved most recently, is put into action when trickery and manipulation are at play. Color prescription is black. Okay, so this is black. And there's prompts as well. Practice a third eye meditation for intuition and clarity of mind, like candle gazing, to help refocus the mind on a focal point. So here we have this, and then I would combine it with information on the color as well. So I know that black can be used, which is wonderful because as we kind of saw before, black kind of absorbs all the colors, and it's a very good protective, clearing and cleansing color. And terracotta, then, if we go into the book with terracotta, there is a lot of information, so I'm not going to read all of this, but terracotta, she describes the color terracotta, and from psychological perspective. So for example, she gives like different different angles to how we can experience this color. So terracotta is like people or energy is loves new dynamics, situations. They have genuine curiosity in their fellow human and human behavior. This energy has the tendency to pick up personality traits, affections, and vernaculars that they find clever or interesting. They love to find new interests, pursuits, experiences, especially ones that offer a thrill. So sometimes, you know, if you find a lot of this energy in your aura, you have to be very aware of deception, because not everything that glitters invites you to, you know, pick it up, and you can find yourself, it nearly seems like this deception card could be a warning not to step into some dodgy situations or surround yourself with dodgy people who can, you know, manipulate your like innocent curiosity or zest for adventure, and like pull you into some, you know, not nice situations. So this can inform their creativity, they can be prominent in their self-expression. If not in balance, they can often take on others' energy or even act out personality traits of others if they were their own. They like to shapeshift and try new faces. This can also manifest in stealing ideas if they are not grounded in their true essence. Be mindful of your place and resources, and if you are living from your own authentic ideals. Where in your life are you possibly conforming and performing learned behaviors rather than living in your own authenticity? The beauty of this energy is the ability to see structure and shapes as well as incoming trends. Often the forecasters of the spectrum can see what will be in the near future due to their attention to detail. So then she goes into, you know, describing the color, etc., etc. So then we have this dynamic visions of form. So each color has a little bit different keyword here. So for example, she lists illusions or the presentation of something on the surface that is different in reality. So that kind of fits this deception. And I think if I pull these cards for myself this morning, let's say, now in the evening, I would really be wary about reading something or letting something in and thinking of maybe manipulation or deception in what I'm receiving. There is, that the thing can be really different on the surface and different when we look deeper at the situation. It's seeing the larger trends in the universe, toppling social norms, love of a challenge, an ability to get around a problem, putting skill set to good use, fast pace or something coming quickly, rapid movement on a project or goal, human experiment, everything and everyone has its purpose, assessing the why, what are those in my life reflecting to me. Then we have some earthly connections, so different animals, different symbols. Visualizing terracotta helps unlock our energy and activate our life force. It's root, sacral and earth star chakra, so orange, red and brown. And then she describes the chakra, and then in the yin and yang, here we have yang, so sometimes it's yin and yang, sometimes it's yin, sometimes it's yin yang. So here we have yang, so it's quite an active duo. And we have the chameleon, takes on personality of others, energy vampires, tricksters, pickpockets, cheater. So when we have excess of this color, when we're lacking in terracotta, it's like flat, uninspired, energetically and artistically blocked, confused. What food you can eat or don't eat, because you might not want to get more terracotta, but so you decide for yourself. Where in your body, complementary opposites lime, movement, how you move, essential oils with like cardamom, star anise and tangerine. I love that you can add also crystals and essential oils. This is the frequency, which is also awesome. In astrology, she connects this terracotta to Gemini, which is two-sided, charismatic, charming, intelligent and highly observant, sacral and root chakra and earth star. And then she describes a terracotta personality and terracotta negative. But here she just writes those quick kind of keywords if you wanted to just use it as a normal oracle without going into the whole psychological stuff. This is artistic mind, chic, elegant, form and space, ahead of the curve, forecasts, premonition, skill set, detail-oriented, malleable, flexibility, energy exchanges, illusions, rapid pace, changing, transitory, shapeshifter, trickster, clever, cheating, or working the system. So as you can see, you can go very deep with this oracle, but you can also use it, let's say, just with this pile. So with the, with the different keywords. And if you think of deception, you can go into nessus, you can go into air elements, so it has maybe something with intellect, intellectual, speaking, lying, being, too fast to actually research the truth, etc., etc. So that's how I'm using this oracle recently. I used it often with like the birthday readings. Recently I had quite a few birthday extravaganza readings that people bought, and I always use this deck. Sometimes it's wonderful to connect it to tarot, like Alison suggested. So I love this Zillich tarot, which is top base by Christine Zillich. It's so beautiful, also as a color deck, and you can always do something along the lines of, energy of the day. So if we have here this Four of Discs, which is the power, and that Sun in Virgo, and how on Capricorn, I think, right? And we have this terracotta that's fast and deception. So we could maybe think about, like, because how mental this power looks, that everything is in the head, like there is all this, maybe the colors would suggest, and we would like to strengthen the terracotta, that we're deceiving ourselves somehow and we stuck in our approach, and maybe we need to like break loose a little bit from this idea of we kind of constricted in our own understanding of something. So let's say this would be the energy of the day. Then one card from below, usually that's how I use it, is what to be aware of. So, don't do a lot of this. So this is 10 of Discs, and that's Mercury in Virgo. And we have this, 10 of Pentacles wealth here, but it's interesting that it's only Pentacles. So here now I'm thinking maybe this is the power of solar plexus also, or lime. I would maybe go into, all these colors and go, well, which one is the closest to this? Like if I just had time and wanted to play, I think either yellow or even this lime color, or the mixture of both. They have a lot of this color over here. So, I could like give myself some indication of what this color suggests here, and then what to embrace more, what's important, and a lot of Mercury. So we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and we have Capricorn. We only have Earth. There is something I would just suggest, like I would definitely look into the body. I would look at embracing, connection to the body, not being stuck in my own head. And it's interesting how she is here having this cloud over her head. This guy has like this castle, walls built around him. I would definitely move this energy with the terracotta a bit, and remember that even when we think it's true and we're experiencing it, it could still be quite a deceptive notion. Might be, we might be protecting ourselves, we might be repeating something from like ancestral lineage, we might be holding ourselves, holding the space safe. Like she said, that deception sometimes hold us safe, and we may be afraid to feel, or we're afraid to move because of. And it's interesting, there's so much mental and so much earth energy, and I think terracotta would be a perfect color, or even this lime and yellow, to release a little bit of this energy. So that's usually what I would do with this type of work. Sometimes, if I had, I would maybe use, I don't have terracotta, but maybe I would use orange to stimulate something. If I needed then maybe, you know, other colors, other readings, I would use those color essences. I know that Alison has a lot of them. Sometimes I would use maybe Aura Soma as well, if it, you know, if it fits. But I think this deck is so amazing. I'm really so happy to have it and to be learning from this. And I'm just really curious about Alison's work in general, with energy. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, we are going to catch up, so please look out for our chat. And if you want me to ask any questions to Alison, then please write them in the comments. Let me know what you think about this deck. Who has this deck? Do you use it? How do you use it? I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I hope you are going to enjoy the conversation with Alison that I'm going to post next after this video. Thank you for watching. It's a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Much love. Bye.